Okie dokie, let's check in on a few things real quick. Let me unmute this tab and see if everything's coming through okay. Let me unmute this tab and see if everything's coming through okay. Alright, that's good enough. Hi. Hello. My name is Caleb Wade, also known as Love is Blue, and we're doing a cozy little Vampire the Masquerade Shadows of New York read-through. My voice is not 100%, but hey, I just hope that you'll have a little fun. That's all this is meant to be, just a little bit of fun. I have never actually played this. I have seen a dear friend of mine play it like a while ago, but I figured it's spooky season. I had the day off and I'm taking a break from schoolwork, so why not? Also, hi, my pronouns are they, them. Okay, here we go. Let me know if the sound's not good or anything like that, okay? Also, no face cam because I don't feel like it. Welcome to my castle. Don't expect everyday logic to work here. It went out the window sometime after midnight, maybe earlier. My kingdom is not of this world, you see. It lies far outside of concrete, tangible reality. I've tried to identify the way people reach it, and I'm convinced it has something to do with the moon. Some say the moon's aura can turn them insane. You've heard the phrases moonstruck and lunatic. The way I see it, moonlight gives them some subliminal permission to reveal their true selves. And so, whenever they let the silver radiance guide them to the gates of this place, they feel different. As they pass the doorstep, they're ready to act out. A dance of horrors and marvels begins. It's 3:31 a.m. Welcome to Big Beat Burger. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly readying up to be a productive member of society come tomorrow morning. More likely, you're praying that the sunrise never comes. Insatiable children of the night gather around, hoping to bask in the afterglow Insatiable children of the night gather around, hoping to bask in the afterglows of tonight's victories. Let me just turn my phone on silent real quick, or do not disturb so it doesn't buzz. Unwind after a frustrating series of failures, or simply fight to keep themselves together. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here, greedily reveling in every interaction they have. They have no idea they are only here for my amusement. To them, I'm just a random girl sitting in the corner. But this is my domain. I've been coming here almost every night for years. I know where to sit, where to look, and where to eavesdrop for maximum amusement. I'm basically a voyeur, and I'm ashamed to admit it. It gave me insight about the human condition that I'd never otherwise have gathered, and more importantly, a necessary skill set that makes ends meet as a journalist. As I write on my crappy old laptop, patiently waiting for the legion of negative voices in my head to get too tired to offer useless feedback, I keep my senses peeled to pick up stories around me. Of course, a lot of regular events, such as food fights, are nothing to write home about, aside from my unfortunate tendency to become collateral damage in someone else's battles. Up to this day, I've had to wash my clothes because of Coke, Diet Coke, hot coffee, apple pie, and some sort of improvised honey mustard bomb. Every stain tells a different story. Sometimes this hobby is exhausting. Sometimes it's disturbing. Sometimes it's dangerous, although not as risky as back when I wasn't carrying pepper spray. Still, the sights I've taken in over the years have made it absolutely worth it. I've got so many stories, I don't know where to begin. Theatrical breakups, impromptu morning parties, and unexpected friendships forged in the fires of senseless battle. A lady in a gorgeous Givenchy dress ordering a box of takeout chicken nuggets, paying with cash with her hands completely covered in blood. She was asked if she wants a napkin. She said no. Two thirsty macho Jews shamelessly going forward in the corner, Hush moaning filling the lobby while everyone around valiantly fights to act as usual and maintain an illusion of normalcy. A shadow kung fu fight between a diminutive cashier and some drugged bodybuilder going through a psychotic episode, trying to break all the windows. The big guy left the joint fully convinced he KO'd himself while the service worker was just standing next to him. Seemed proud of his victory, too. A middle-aged hag getting a heart attack after screaming her lungs out not to let Muslims near her food, just because she saw a white girl wearing a hairnet behind the counter. A masked couple robbing the restaurant of 30 burgers, forcing the employees to cook at gunpoint. Police later said those were art students reenacting some hipster book they've read. This is life. This is humanity at its worst and best. This is the noise that serves as the foundation for my creativity. This is the soma that keeps me going. This is... As pathetic as it may sound these days, this is the only place where I feel alive. Sometimes I think of myself as a leech, feeding on these people's stories, emotions, and personalities just because I'm not satisfied with mine. Gonna check again. These emotions and personalities just because I'm not satisfied with mine. Gonna check again. Okay, still sound good. At times I think of my psyche as some kind of shitty postmodern construct that is fundamentally incapable of honesty, but only yearns for something felt and truthful. Does this even make any sense? I look at the screen of my laptop. 3:47 a.m. At this point I'm almost somnambulic, but nothing interesting has happened yet. Feels like all the customers are watching each other tonight, hoping for the others to provide a fun diversion. This is my turf, you parasitic douchebags. Next time, go find your own. I think it's time to call it a night. The coffee hour is ordered so that they don't get me out as undrinkable. Ugh. I reread the rough draft I've been working on for the last 6 hours. God damn. This is pure trash. Have the backspace button until the Google Documents page is nothing but a calm white slate, and let out a sound of deep relief. There's no pleasure more intoxicating for a frustrated writer than ragging on someone even worse than them. And what target is easier than the dumb bitch you used to be 10 minutes ago? Oh, I read that wrong. Let me try that again. Let me take that again. Oh, no. Oh. Let me try that again. There's no pleasure more intoxicating for a frustrated writer than ragging on someone even worse than them. And what target is easier than the dumb bitch you used to be 10 minutes ago? I checked the time again. I need to go. I have an important meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I have a hunch it's not going to end well. It's not because I'm an irresponsible dumbass who's going to need a few cups of coffee to simply function on a basic level despite like 4 hours of sleep. It's because I always have a hunch things are not going the way they're supposed to. Click, clack, click, click, clack. A loud clatter of keyboards assaults me from all sides, making the splitting headache unbearable. Used to be, I dreamed of nothing else but being a part of the We're gonna make some mistakes here. It's okay. Just let it all wash over you, I guess. Put me on in the background. I wonder what you got going on. What you got over there, good? You watching Outer Banks? I've heard that show's pretty alright. I've never watched it. You watching Agatha? You watching Agatha all along? Am I on in the background? Sorry. It used to be, I dreamed of nothing else but being a part of the New York Lodestar editorial team. It was the first magazine I started reading regularly, the first magazine I ever bought for myself. Now simply hearing the word Lodestar is enough to ruin my mood, never mind seeing all these old farts fighting in more reactionary opinion columns and Wikipedia level analyses of current events. Click, clack, click, click, clack. They used to destroy and rebuild my entire worldview every month. They shaped my thinking about politics, art, journalism. They even pointed me towards my favorite cigarette brand, for God's sake. Then some talented people started leaving for greener pastures. Some got too wrapped up in their own neuroses. Others became complacent. All of them committed the sin of allowing themselves to grow older. Fresh blood was deemed unnecessary, even though young freelancers kept being bled dry. These days, whenever someone talks from outside these days, whenever someone from outside Lodestar talks about Lodestar, it's because of a few idealistic contributors willing to accept meager pay while putting in serious work. Dumbasses. Other than that, this magazine specializes in publishing pale echoes of provocative ideas I heard somewhere else a few years prior, wrapped in an aesthetic that has been cutting edge for a decade. No wonder the readership is in free fall. But even though the ship is sinking, the old guard won't let it go down without a fight. As in, if anyone from the outside attempts to board the vessel in hopes of fixing its course or its holes, they'll be swiftly taken care of. I should know. Been there, done that. As it stands, the only full-time staff member who doesn't make me regularly attempt to cringe my face off with his writing is Lodestar's editor-in-chief, Brian Ng. The man sitting in front of me right now. Of course, he only has time for the editorials these days. A drop in the sea of needs. Managerial duties hit him hard. It's the second time he lets out a theatrical cough like this. He said his piece. Now it's up to me to react, and I'm coming up blank. But what do you want me to say, Brian? I'm pissed off. I can tell you've already made up your mind, but you still want to go through the motions just to make me feel listened to. Whatever. Let's do this. The man is a sexual harasser, Brian. I feel stupid that I even have to say this out loud, but you're essentially coming out for a sexual harasser, Brian. No, I'm not. No, just face it. Let's say the Harvey Weinstein story appeared on your desk instead of reaching for the New... Yeah, no, just face it. Just say the Harvey Weinstein story appeared on your desk instead of reaching the New York Times. Don't you compare me to the Times. You know that's a low blow. You're asking for it, and you're not exactly in a position to talk about low blows here. You know that's not the core of the issue. You're avoiding the core of the issue. No, I believe I pinpointed it in a precise way. If it were out to me, I'd greenlight the article here and now. We wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're killing the article just because some rich shithead told you he doesn't like it. Get real. This is not about some millionaire jerk calling me to make me an offer I can't refuse. What is this about then? Because it looks awfully like it's about my bosses telling me that this outlet can't afford the legal action we've already been threatened with. So, millionaire interference. Oh, for crying out loud, Julia, don't make me treat you like a child. You know how this works. I publish a story, it's Theo versus Gawker all over again. A lawsuit here, a lawsuit there, until we're bled dry. I have a mortgage. I have 3 mouths to feed, waiting to be fed at home. I'm a little tired, I'm a little congested. So please forgive me. I have a mortgage. I have 3 mouths waiting to be fed at home. I have an amazing team that doesn't deserve to be torn apart over some... Don't you think it's telling you mentioned... Oh, hello. I should have alerts on the screen. Oh, Gucci Garbage, thank you for the follow. Hello. I do have alerts on the screen. I just can't see it because I'm not looking at my... I'm not really looking at my... No, it's okay. Parasites are okay here. Parasites are a-okay here. Feel free to vibe. We're just vibing. Julia's arguing with her boss about writing a story or two. Just gonna alt-tab real quick and just have the OBS up. Don't you think it's telling you mentioned your mortgage first? Silence. Just asking questions. I know better than to get into these... Oop. I know better than to get into these empty semantic arguments with you, Miss Sawinski. You're good at them. The problem is, you're still not good enough. Meaning? You're too in love with weaving with a good... Ooh. You're too in love with weaving a good story and establishing a seductive narrative to let facts get in the way. You've got enough boarding suits with no principles on board these days. They always give you facts because that's all they can do. I'm using facts as a way to approach some kind of truth. Except facts can blindside you, and Double Spiral has enough facts to water down your story to the point where it makes no sense to publish it. Their HR and PR are working overtime to deliver a convincing counter-narrative, and they're doing a great job. Won't mitigate the damage completely, but will put every little thing in question. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Julia. Let me say it again. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Do you personally believe it or not? This is not... You've listened to the tapes, you've read the transcripts, you've seen the documents, you've got the files. I'm asking for your personal opinion. Do you believe it or not? Click, clack, click, clack, click. Of course I do. But that's beside the point. It's not. Look, how about I just say it out loud and save us both some time? We're not having this conversation because there's an actual conversation to be had. You set up this meeting knowing very damn well there's only one way it's going to end. You've got a mortgage and 3 mouths to feed. You prioritize the well-being of your direct surroundings over some nebulous concept of the greater good. I get it. I really do. Yet for some reason, it seems like you're only prolonging this conversation and rationalizing your decision so that I forgive you, officially exonerate you. I'm not the bad guy here, Julia. Oh. What are you then? In your own words. A man who does what is necessary to protect his own. So I don't count as your own anymore? He mutters something under his breath, ending with a self-pitying chuckle. I don't even know if you want to work under a scumbag like me from now on. Oh, come on, don't turn this into a pity party. No, I'm absolutely a scumbag. And why is that? Because I'm firing you. Ooh, girly pop got. My thoughts are scrambled. For a brief moment, the state of my bank account displays before my eyes with startling clarity. A howling void opens in my chest and starts traveling towards my stomach. No, don't panic yet, you idiot. Get more information. Now there must be a catch. Let me get this straight. Ever since we met, I've been working on stories and pieces no one else in your office would touch with a 10-foot pole. Constantly interviewing total nobodies, always busy traveling in the middle of nowhere or regretting my last trip, repeatedly ordered to clean out someone else's messes. Julia, all your long-winded spiels about how the disposable work is the most important work, and suddenly you only remember the disposable part? My feelings about the quality of your work remain the same as ever. It was vital. It kept the magazine going. I'll always appreciate it. Then why would you threaten to fire me? I would never threaten you. It's a done deal. They've made their position perfectly clear. They? What they? Who is this they? He glances left to right, then points upward for a short moment. Oh. Hey, hi Andromeda. Thank you for the follow. Hello. We're playing some Shadows of New York, and girly pop Julia just got freaking fired. We were playing Julia Sawinski, a very opinionated young lady who likes people watching at like 3 in the morning. He glances left to right and then points upward for a short moment. When he speaks up again, it's in a hushed voice. You know, the big kahunas. Can't really question them, and they wanted your head on a silver plate. He's not looking me in the eye. You're not joking. I would never joke about stuff like this. It's real. Fucking hell, it's real. Damn it, all to hell. All these years, all this grind, all my plans, and for what? Fucking asshole. You know I deserve better. I always deserve better. And it always ends with me going down the drain back to the sewers. Fuck! No. Take a few deep breaths. Don't lose the plot now. Keep yourself together, you idiot. The moment you show weakness, they go back for your throat. Get back in control. You can't do this. I wish I didn't have to, but it's a lost cause. No, I mean, It's impossible. Juliet, you can't fire someone who's never been hired in the first place. It takes him a few seconds to put on his "oh, I get it" face and let out a troubled gasp and start massaging his temples. Lone Star has been my biggest source of income for the past few years, that much is true. But technically, nobody has ever hired me here. It was all freelance jobs. A full-time position only served as a kind of dangling carrot, a promise of a decent pay grade, career perspectives, maybe even filling some kind of insurance to save my failing health, and the recognition I would get for being a part of the Lone Star team, a position that everyone around me seems to respect, aside from me. Then why did I want it so much? There will be time to mourn what could have been. For now, I should act like I don't care. You know what I mean. If I let you work, even under a fake name, it would be a guillotine for me. This is ridiculous. You know I'm gonna start shopping the story around the second I leave this room, don't you? Of course I know. I told him. Any response? Let us worry about that. Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. Clack, clack, click, clack, click. I do wonder if I can get accustomed to one of these loud mechanical keyboards some people here love to use. Whenever I did my work in here, I was still expected to bring my own crappy laptop and sit closer to the lobby. Always on the outside, no matter how hard I tried to break in. The vibration in my back pocket feels like a bad omen. I decide to ignore it for now. I have been working on this fucking story for, 16 months on and off. I know. You kept cheering me on. I know. We have even agreed on the pay I'd receive. I know. I'm 2 months behind on my rent. No, wait, 2.5. I catch him off guard. He is momentarily taken aback and then gives me an empathetic stare. Don't you look at me this way. You don't have the right. I didn't know. Well, now you do. Look, if there's anything I can do to help. If you can't tell your big goodness to fuck off, I don't think there's a single thing. Julia. Well, smoke and light it up. Gotta get back in control. Please don't do that. There's a smoke detector here. No worries. Nick turned it off a few weeks ago. Probably the most creative thing he's done in the past 5 years. Good old Nick. The perfect 21st century cinema reviewer. Never has an original thought of his own, but just relies on his purely algorithmic taste to stay likable. The best thing is, it actually works. Funny. He used to dream about his job. It was Brian who killed this dream, making me realize that Nick won't be unseated anytime soon, and offered to teach me in the ways of an investigative journalist instead. It wasn't the career I ever wanted to pursue, but to my dismay, I turned out to be surprisingly good at it, until this Montgomery thing happened. Serves me right. Lesson learned. Should have just pursued my dreams instead. Stop it. Nicholas is a good friend, a respected critic, a member of my team, and put out that smoke. People tell me I let you step all over me. Why do I even let you act this way? Because you once told me that honesty is the most important in a mentor-student relationship, and that it works both ways. And because I thought we were friends. He bites his lips and stares sideways to avoid my eyes. At the end of the day, bosses aren't friends. Must have been a terrible mentor if I didn't even teach you that. Best I can do for now is just stay silent. I don't feel too stable right now. Like I could explode any second. Julia, I might have failed as a guide, but I will do what I can to not leave you stranded, okay? There are options. None of them are a remedy for all your troubles, but... wait a second. That vibration in my pocket, another foreboding feeling. This time I reluctantly take the smartphone out of my pocket. If it has to rain, hey, why not let it pour? New email. It's a lengthy one. And the sender? Speak of the devil. No, this can't be. Christ. I just got an email from Mila Lopez. She claims she's just been laid off from Double Spiral. Same as Mike Antonoff and Jared Rivera. What? What happened? I'll spare you all your insults, okay? Thing is, it seems that their HR knows all about the confidential information about my yeah. The key thing is, it seems their HR knows all the confidential information about my journalistic investigation and used it to shut everybody's mouth. Hell, apparently Montgomery walked up to Lopez as she was emptying. Oh. Hell, apparently Montgomery walked up to Lopez as she was emptying her desk and told her to thank me for being a, quote, dumb and careless cunt. Brian goes pale. He has a very good reason to. You fucking scumbag. You outed my sources? What? Of course not. What were you even saying? Oh, don't you dare play coy. It must have been either you or me, no one else, and you know the way I work. My investigation was basically untraceable, both on and offline. Carefully picked meeting spots, encryption upon encryption, every direct quote rewritten 5 times just in case, all sorts of red herrings scattered about. I know my shit. You know I do. And this timing? Did you just pass a flash drive to your beloved Big Kahunas during a meeting as a sign of goodwill? Look, I get you're upset, but won't we talk through this calmly? You're right. Maybe we should fuck off. Fury takes the wheel, and I'm just here along for the ride. You can't do anything about it. In a deranged way, realizing you're just a passenger in your own body feels liberating. Let's just see it all unfold. Calmly? Fuck you, Brian. Julia! I've been paranoid for months and months, acting like everyone I did know wasn't an assassin or corporate spy. Sorry. I've been paranoid. I've been paranoid for months and months, acting like everyone I did know was an assassin or a corporate spy. I know I haven't messed up, not in a way that would implicate all of them. You goddamn, you thought you could actually get away with this? I haven't done anything improper. Don't push the blame on me. So what, you're claiming it's my fault? Because you're never the guilty one? It's always the bosses, the economy, the obligations you have, and now me? You're being silly. Quit with this martyr bullshit. Calm down or I'll have to... You immoral shithead. You motherfucking calm down, for God's sake. And so it goes. I yell out a lot of words I wanted to say for a long time, but held back. I feel like a lot of insults I've been workshopping for years, hoping I'd never use them. I break a few things. Times for a split second, I see pity in someone. At times, for a split second, I see pity in somebody's eyes. It's gonna haunt me for a long time, but in the heat of the moment, I don't care. These people know this company has nothing left to offer me, so at least let me take this catharsis. In the end, a security guard has to escort me out of the building, and that's the end of my journalistic career. I just feel like my world has crumbled into nothing. I mean, you have every right to. Like, Jesus, if I were you, I would have already broken down into a sobbing mess. I'd love to, but I'm on a subway, far too proud to cry in public, even now, and? It's stupid, but I feel like someone out there keeps destroying everything I hold dear, just to see my reaction, like it was a prank show and someone was waiting to record me crying. So, out of sheer spite, I'm doing my best not to cry. Fuck you, whoever and wherever you are. That's the most Julia Sawinski thing I've heard. Spite as the great motivator, huh? Not feeling particularly motivated. Not feeling particularly motivated to do anything right now, to be honest. I just want to stay in my bed until my shithead landlord calls cops to forcefully evict me. Not surprised. Shit. I know that whenever life decides to fuck you over, it's always one thing after another, but this is too much. How much is too much? Let's recap this last week of June 2019. I've been kicked out of my job, not that I've ever been hired, so let's just say my mentor broke every big promise he ever made to me. The big thing I'd been working on for a year and a half went down the toilet. It's all useless. My boss didn't protect my sources properly, and now they keep trying to reach me through every possible channel to threaten me or just yell at me, and they have every right to react like that. All my side gigs were shut down, no responding to my emails. Someone's dragging my name through the mud behind the scenes, and it worked. I still have no idea who's sending these shitty messages around. I've been asking, but... Oh, well... That was Dakota. I still have no idea who's sending these shitty messages around. I've been asking, but listen, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna stand idly by and watch you get canceled by some mean-spirited delusional. I said, don't worry about it. I have 3 unread messages from my landlord. The message reviews were stressful enough. A call came from Chicago. Apparently Dad has bladder cancer. Mom is in hysterics. She'd go crazy if she'd heard about my situation, but I have to pretend everything is okay whenever she calls. And she calls every day. And she just won't hang up before she unloads all her burdens on me. And I can't blame her, because we ought to learn how to cope with Dad's psychopathic tendencies somehow. I was robbed. All my documents and what little money I had gone. Don't even know when or where it happened, and it's driving me crazy because I'm always extremely wary of pickpockets. The list goes on. I don't want to sound paranoid, but it really feels like a concerted attack. Paranoid is good. Anyway, I know you always hand wave this topic away, but just remember that if anything happens, my place is your place. You don't have to get through it alone. I do. I've been a trouble magnet, and as self-centered as I may be, I don't want it to affect you. I know. Listen, I have another call. Alright, just call me if anything happens, no matter how dumb it seems, okay? And swing by whenever you can. Oh, well, thanks. See ya. I put my phone away, and exhale, and blankly stare in front of me. Christ. I glance at my reflection on the window. Just look at this idiot. Whenever the situation requires me to dress formally, I still feel like a bit like a child cosplaying as an adult. So just followed the dress for the job you want advice and continued dressing up like a trust fund kid who keeps partying in Brooklyn rooftops for years without a care in the world. It's only after a while that I realized the car is empty, unnaturally so. I start feeling uneasy, but someone enters my peripheral vision. Ooh. And that's the last thing I consciously register. The world dissolves. When I come to, I'm on the subway, standing in a back alley I don't even recognize. It's pretty dark. My eyes start adjusting, and I try to figure out what happened. There's a gun in my hand. Faint silhouette at my feet. It's not moving. Someone stands in front of me, covered in shadows. I can't fully make out her face, but she's staring at me with visible intent. She speaks. Her voice is raspy and androgynous. Her tone hateful and mocking. Aren't you a nasty one? What's going on? Who are you? Don't blink, Oi. My mind goes blank. I look at the ground. There's a body riddled with bullet holes, and I recognize who it is. Was. The corpse belongs to Mike Antonoff, one of the double spiral whistleblowers. My source. He was just threatening to get back at me a few hours ago. I can feel the tiniest bit of compassion. I face a terrible realization. They will think I'm guilty. Oh my God. Am I guilty? How is this real? You've done something to me, haven't you? Back in the subway, that was you, wasn't it? A man is bleeding out at your feet, and you're turning this around on me somehow. I haven't done anything to him. Again, don't play coy. You knew him. He was mad at you. You started telling him sob stories about your situation. He was having none of it. You got mad. Things escalated. He died. This isn't true. It's plausible, but that doesn't make it true. Or does it? This is just a nightmare. It doesn't even make sense. It must be a dream. And if it isn't, the person in front of me must be responsible. There's a faint voice in my head screaming that it's her world, that I'm just living in it. What the fuck have you done to me? Nothing yet. But I'll do what I can to get you locked up for life. This is a murder in the first degree with special circumstances. Her detached voice and nonsensical tone only reassures me this can't be real. Oh gosh. I need to take a sip of my beverage that will not help me with my vocal fry. One sec. I refuse to believe that it is. Before I even managed to think this through, I point the gun at her. If I did murder him, you wouldn't be acting like that. You wouldn't be standing in front of me. You'd be running away, calling the police, begging for help, yelling that I'm a psycho. Oh, you are a psycho. But I'm not a coward. I won't let you walk out of here alive. This doesn't make a single lick of sense. Well, tears swell up in my eyes. Why are you doing this? Because sometimes one has to confront what they're really made of. There's no two ways about it. She's got to be nuts. Slowly but surely, she starts walking towards me. Stop right there, or I'll shoot. Go on. It's the only way you can get off the hook, isn't it? The only way you can survive. But you will definitely prove you are the monster I claim you are. What the fuck is this tone? So controlling and authentic, patronizing. I'm serious. For your own sake, you better be. She keeps getting closer. Maybe I did kill Anton. Maybe I don't deserve to live. Maybe it's less tiring not to live. Maybe I should just let her take care of me. Maybe I'll just wake up. Maybe this insane reality needs to be rejected as violently as possible. Maybe a world that wants to destroy me deserves to be destroyed. She's right in front of me. It's now or never. I'm a shooter. I close my eyes and squeeze the trigger. A loud bang echoes through the alley. I'm afraid to look at what I've done. Been to a shooting range. I've been to a shooting range once and felt absolutely horrified by pistols. Such a small thing, but it can easily puncture a hole in the fabric reality is made of. Never knew I'd be able to use it against another human being. The very thought makes me want to puke. You were a right choice after all. I'm so glad. You haven't allowed yourself to break, but you crossed the line I needed you to cross. There's a silent flame in you that could become an inferno if left unchecked. I sure hope it will. She's still alive. Her voice is coming from behind me. She puts her hands around my waist, and her cold mouth touches my neck. I can feel my shirt getting violently torn off. I don't understand, but I'm too dazed to protest. That was your final test. Congratulations. You have proven yourself worthy. I can feel something sharp sliding into my neck. It's not too painful, just startling. Think a doctor pushing a needle into your vein without a proper warning. Then it hits me. Pure bliss. The dopamine receptors I've considered completely fried until now suddenly recover and start bombarding me with pleasure I've never known before. I finally let the tears go. They come flooding. They've been waiting for years. It's such a relief. Is it raining? I feel like I'm in the middle of a deluge, at least. Washing away all my fears, all of my sorrows, all of my anger, all of my pain, all of my ego. I become one with the world and the woman behind me. She's holding me tight, making me feel like the only important thing in this world. Everything else blurs. I feel something intense towards her, something I've never felt before. Is this love? Oh, I hope it is. This is not you. This is a familiar, cynical voice in the back of my head. But that's okay. Never felt particularly fond of me, anyway. New York, you're perfect. Oh, please don't change a thing. He who laughs in the shadows always has the last laugh. Hallelujah. Praise be. Where everything is cliche, nothing is. Isn't that the ever-distant utopia I've been chasing all along? People on the other trains, I hope you're doing fine. shut up. Just enjoy it. You finally understand. She's making love to me. She's giving birth to me. She's burying me. I'm pretty sure I've been dead for a while. I'm pretty sure I could stare at my own corpse and her hands from a distance for a moment. Somehow. And then I'm alive again. She lifts her mouth from my neck. No, wait, I taste blood in my mouth. Was I drinking her blood too? I realized that whatever it was, it's over, and I had to bask in the afterglow while I still can. I also immediately understand that I'm going to chase this fleeting feeling for the rest of my existence. Finally, she lets out a whisper which concludes the ceremony. No matter what happens next, don't forget, you're a monster. But you were lucky enough to be born in a world of monsters. So don't you ever mourn that fact. Embrace it. Vampire the Masquerade. Oh, that's one hell of an intro sequence. I really hope all that came through in the audio. I was having really fun. I was having really fun. Wow, I'm tired. I was having fun, like, doing that whole, like, the euphoria of the embrace and the mess that is Julia's mind. Excuse me. Once again, I find myself in Big Beat Burger. Familiar surroundings. Faces I recognize. Mood, same as it ever was. Still, I process it in an entirely different way. It all frustrates me now. Yes, we're having really fun on the stream. Or more precisely, it makes me frustrated with myself. It's like I'm clinging to the remnants of a cocoon I've outgrown. It's the same with these cigarettes. I don't need them anymore, so why do I keep holding on to them? Fucking hell, it's like I refuse to accept I'm something better than I used to be. A vampire. A vampire. Just 2 nights ago, I met Karen. She embraced me. Which, I mean, she turned me into a kindred. She calls herself my sire, and me her child. Child? What a sire calls his or her or their vampire progeny when they're being naughty. Sort of like when an exhausted mom calls their kid by their first name. Also tends to be a go-to when someone feels like they're out of arguments and needs to make their seniority known. Plural form is chowder. Sire, the one that makes you a bloodsucker, a vampire's name for parent. Mine was Karen. Kindred, a term of fellowship among vampires. Thought to have been coined after an anarch uprising of some sort, but the Camarilla doesn't talk about that much. The embrace. How a vampire turns their human prey into a fellow vampire for whatever reason. Like most things, the details are a bit more gruesome than whatever romanticized images Hollywood has shoved down everyone's throats for over the years. Unless you think the total exsanguination followed by the replacement of someone, your vital bodily fluids by someone else's sounds romantic. Last night she taught me the basics of survival. Drinking blood, manipulating humans, bending steel, controlling shadows. Tonight I expected more lessons. Instead, she just told me to go out and enjoy myself. What's the catch? I asked, to which she responded, I might kill you if you prove to be a disappointment. There are a few rules. I have to uphold the masquerade. I can't contact anyone I knew as human. I can't let anyone realize I'm not human anymore. I can't embrace anyone, and so on. The masquerade, the systematic secrecy of vampires built to conceal our world from humankind, in order to protect us. Essentially, the masquerade is our shield against the fear and ignorance of human beings. Make no bones about it. If the vast majority of people ever learned we exist, we would be hunted to extinction. Or fought to extinction. Let's be real. Uh, Otherwise, I'm free to do whatever I want, but for some reason, the first thing I did was come back here. Old habits die hard. Karen's probably watching me from somewhere right yeah. Karen is probably watching me from somewhere even now. The way I understand it, tomorrow night she's supposed to introduce me to the Camarilla, a local society of vampires. The big boys and girls and people in this town. The largest vampire sect I know of plays well with mortals, or rather plays mortals like a fiddle. Manipulative and rich in a structure, almost feudal really, is the prince involved, no joke. Heavily investing in maintaining the masquerade and other so-called traditions, with helps with the previous 2 points. Turns out they're the ones who have been systematically ruining my life lately, all part of some secret evaluation that I barely passed. Just imagining the race I have makes me dizzy. After they destroyed the old me that I barely cared about, Karen rebuilt me anew. On the other hand, her test left some scars that'll take some time to heal. On the other hand, maybe I should just be grateful. I was snapped out of my thoughts by a sudden scream. Some douchebag yelling about his french fries not being salty enough. I think this is my cue to leave permanently. Goodbye, BBB. Hope I never see you again. Her eyes are reddish now. They're orangey instead of like the teal. Or cerulean, rather. Aquamarine. I'm destined for greater things, you see. Ooh, what should we do? What should we do? Should we do the risks of swiping right? Do we do the danse macabre? Or retributive justice? What should we do, chat? You choose. I'm gonna take another sip of my beverage. I don't think I'll be streaming for too long. I think I'm just gonna be streaming for like an hour and a half because my voice is not great right now. Thank you for the compliment, by the way. I try. I am a little bit of a... Okay, we have one for Tinder, one for Justice. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip a coin. Heads is the risks of swiping right. Tails is gonna be retributive justice. And we're just gonna see where the coin falls, okay? Here we go. Coin flip. Heads it is. I guess we're going with this Tinder weirdo. Maybe we'll get to do 2. Who knows? He lowers his eyes awkwardly, thinking how to proceed with this rant. So, it's like, the conversation isn't really smooth, yeah. It's like... So it's like, the conversation is really smooth, yeah? It's like I keep throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, but nothing seems to stick for long. You understand, yeah? Yeah. It's really this lack of context that's killing me about online dating. It's bad enough when a few photos and a single sentence are all you have to rely on when starting a conversation, yeah? But when a cosmic miracle finally happens and she's actually willing to keep replying to you and she's actually down to meet up eventually, and you're out here sitting with her, so after 90 minutes you still don't have that shared context, just no clue whatsoever. It's like, take me out and put a bullet in my head, put me out of my misery. I hear ya. So it's just one of those dates, and it's like we've been sitting here for hours, and the only thing she has a prolonged interest in is getting as hammered as possible, just one drink after another. Is he really talking about, like, another date with a girl? Oh my god. Oh goddess. That's fucked up. The more drunk she is, the more familiar she's getting. It's these little things, you know? Touching my upper arm after each joke, her arm around my shoulder, her gently punching my waist. The escalation is subtle, but steady. In addition, one recurring topic appears, and that's all the cool shit she has and wishes that she could have shown me. Oh, it's too bad it's all back in her apartment. That's when it hits me. She just wants to fuck. Sleep with me. No way. Yeah, well, eventually, we both run out ideas for topics that could be potentially be interesting for the both of us. So I'm just like, yeah, I'd love to see all the crap you have in your apartment. So we, but then it's a really very nice apartment, like nothing too fancy, but I can tell that Dad's the kind of asshole that I'd like to punch in the face if I ever met him, you know what I mean? So she guides me to the kitchen and she makes me a tea, some rare Indian blend, forgot what it was 5 minutes after. Then she excuses herself, goes to the bathroom, doesn't come back. 10 minutes later, I run out of tweets to read, and I am a little concerned. I start looking around. The first thing that catches my eye is the kitchen table. Go on. Table is, surprisingly large. It's covered in neatly arranged documents, like some connect the dots, investigation board, mafia conspiracy kind of thing. Naturally, I take interest. It takes me 20 seconds to process what it is. Her entire mental health history, sorted chronologically, with all the juicy stuff neatly underlined in color. I mean entire, it's all in there. A detailed description of a fucked up household situation over the years, anxiety, ADHD, bouts of depression, suspicions of schizophrenia, severe VPD, some weird psychosexual stuff with her brother. I keep reading and remember what I said about throwing stuff against the wall and see what sticks. Dead certain that's how her strengths went about diagnosing her. She finally comes out of the bathroom like an hour after she went in. After this point, I've read all the shit on the table like 3 times, and not just stuff she's highlighted for my convenience. I feel like right now I understand her better than like someone who read and I feel like right now I understand her better than someone who's read Crime and Punishment understands Raskolnikov. I'm not happy about that, like at all. You know what I mean? She walked with a cheerful hi, and I respond with a sick, all good. She nods, does this weird finger gun thing, and chuckles. I pretend I've been I pretend I've been doing work-related stuff on my phone the whole time. Small talk starts a minute in. She casually picks up one of the documents on the table and she starts doing this super obvious body language because they're like, oh no, how did this get here? I'm practically dying inside, but I put on my cool face and make it look like I'm not here. Sorry, gotta reply to my boss. Yeah, he's working 24/7. Second motherfucker, yeah. So collects all the documents, puts them away, and then nonchalantly asks me something about Tame Impala while I'm being crushed by all the kinds of trauma I've just learned about. So the apartment starts feeling like a coffin. And all of a sudden, she picks up a kitchen knife and starts playing with it with this zoned out stare. I'm fucking mortified. What do you think I did? You ran away. The thought crossed my asshole. The thought crossed my head, but nah. As usual, I took the dumbest course of action and fucking slept with it. That's how the worst 6 months of my life began, and I couldn't even say I didn't see it coming. God, I'm such a slut. Leans back and groans while hiding his face behind his palms. I look at his neck. Every vein seems so visible and impossibly alluring. I don't think I've ever looked at anyone's neck like that. I realize I feel insanely thirsty. Damn. I know. You sure took a turn. Years ago, when this rant began, it was about continental... Maybe we'll get to kill this guy. We don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a little sip, you know? You sure took a turn. Years ago, when this rant began, it was about continental philosophy. Well, sorry, can you say that again? He's pretty drunk, barely able to focus on anything but his current train of thought. Now I've copied his accent. Fuck. He's pretty drunk, barely able to focus on anything but his current train of thought. Just what I was hoping for. Years ago, when the... Never mind. Listen, it's stuffy in here. I want to go out. Get some fresh air. You haven't touched your drink. I mean, I would if I could. No more alcohol for me. No, this is not mine. This one's not mine. Some dude bought it for me, but I don't want it. He scans the room with a death stare, looking for the guy who did it, not realizing his best chance of finding him is in a mirror. And he drinks like half of my glass at once while he's looking around as if he was hoping to prove his dominance over an unseen enemy. Okay, after you. We're walking across a mostly empty street. He's focused on keeping upright and walking in a straight line. I'm focused on finding a spot where I can drink him up. You seem like bad news. Oh yeah? So why don't you just leave me alone? Feminism, I guess. I roll my eyes, and that's when I notice it. A deep, underlit stairwell. I look around and realize there's no one around. This is my chance. I immediately yank him downstairs. It's almost pitch black, but I can still see his face. It doesn't seem shocked. It's more like awkwardness. Now, listen, it's not like I never wanted to do something this sort of thing in public. Quite the opposite. Society needs something to give comfort to perform at optimal levels. Oh, shut up. I sink my fangs inside his neck as he whimpers and becomes silent. Finally, that's what I've been waiting for the past hour. He relaxes in my arm, and I relax with him. It's like all the drinks I've had to deny myself until now are hitting my head all at once. With no unpleasant side effects, I feel radiant. I don't want this moment to end, but it has to. I drop his body to the floor and let the wound close, just like she taught me. His pulse is faint, but steady. He reeks of booze. If anyone finds him, there should be no suspicions. As I walk up the stairwell, I insert a finger into my mouth and try to sense my fangs. No dice. Seems they really are retractable. Huh. Well, that's handy. The hunger pangs are gone. I rub my hands around my body. I feel comfortable, hopeful, happy. Can't remember the last time I enjoyed life like this. Well, let's keep this party going. The second one was retributive justice, so we're gonna do that. Two men are facing each other in a dark back alley. One of them stands with his back against the wall, with his chest heaving as he's struggling to catch his breath. People, anybody out here being robbed? Brawny, rugged guy is yelling at metal staircases with a theatrical yeah. I know that word. My brain is just not working right now. A brawny, rugged guy is yelling at metal staircase with a theatrical incredulity in his voice. With a lively step, he dances around an older man who's having trouble finding his footing. What is this bullshit? Oh, so now you can talk. Good, because I'm dying to hear what you did with my wallet, Holmes. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. The goon starts prancing around like a Muay Thai boxer. He's smiling, but his eyes send a clear message. You're cornered, buddy. Don't even try to pull a fast one on me. Come on, boy. You may be able to trick an average Joe on the street with your act, but a fighter recognizes a fighter. It's like an animal thing. It's an instinct thing. You got some moves on you. You're like, this guy's accent's gonna change forever. You're like, shit, you're like a black mamba. Light and fast reflexes. He starts shouting bosses for a moment. That man's definitely got energy for despair. However, I'm like a king cobra. You've met your match. 2 apex predator, now locked in battle. Oh, so you're seeing snakes? That'll explain something. Before he's able to finish, a sucker punch knocks the air right out of his lungs. That's a dick move. Now man slides on the wall. Before he can let it ground, he's interrupted by a brutal kick to the chest. That's what I'm talking about. A fighting spirit, even when you're cornered. Take a seat. Deep breath. Collect your thoughts before you speak up again. Remember where you put my wallet now? I'm pretty sure you broke my rib. Eye for an eye, rib for a ribbon. Biblical punishment's only fair, homie. Fair. At least admit that this is a mugging. Wallet my ass. Still in denial. Okay, let's say I had about $5,000 in there. Give me $6,000 and let you walk away relatively unharmed. Who the fuck has $6,000? Who the fuck has $6,000 in their wallet? Like, what the fuck? Who are you? So you admit it. Admit what? No, this is not about proper compensation. This is a robbery. Look, buddy, this is beginning to bore me. Unless you want me to go all Anderson Silva on your ass, give me what I want. Anderson Silva? Yeah, Anderson Silva, flying knee meeting your solar plexus, the man, the myth, the legend. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Thai boxing, Western boxing, Taekwondo, Wing Chun, and Capoeira, to combine in a single fighting style that can only be described as straight-up murder. Emphasizing the glorious singularity that is Anderson Silva for years, every move I have, I owe to him. So if you don't want this snake to turn into a deadly spider, show me the money, honey. December 2013, Las Vegas. Huh? Watched it live. On pay-per-view. Weidman saw through all of Silva's tricks. Whooped his ass. Broke his spirit. Showed him what for a fraud he is. The man hasn't been the same ever since. All the empty showboating, hollow taunting, drunk in his own Kool-Aid. Jesus, of course you idolize him, asshole. For a good minute, the goon silently looks down at the whimpering man at his feet, chewing on his lower lip. When he finally speaks up, his voice betrays an intent to kill. You know what, homeboy, screw the money. This is a matter of honor now. My thoughts, exactly. He raises his fist. We got ourselves a mishmash art expert here, huh? For your own sake, I hope you can back that stock with some self-defense skills, homie. This is pathetic. Boosting your self-esteem by beating up an old geezer. God damn, you're pathetic. He jumps to the side and my voice turns my way in a blink of an eye and immediately assumes a combat stance. His reflexes are sharp. Looks like he has at least this much to back up all his bravado. Wannabe Anderson Silva's face betrays utter confusion upon seeing me. He's got no idea how I managed to sneak up on him. I don't blame him. I wouldn't be able to explain it myself. I felt like I became one with the darkness. My pure consciousness traversing a dusky dreamscape, jumping from one shadow to another as if there were different trains of thought. I think it's since experiences I've had with psychedelics, every blink an adventure. I was outside this alley. Blink, I was above the alley. Blink, now I'm in front of this guy. And he pisses me off. The older man slumps down. Looks like he was trying to best to keep it together and gave up. It looks like he was trying his best to keep it together and gave up once the cavalry arrived. The gunner regains his composure and barks at me in an overly gruff way. How you sneaking around for, Chica? Move along, this is between men. Not anymore. His fist turns towards me. I'm serious. And an equal opportunity ass kicker. I respond to the threat with the brightest, most innocent, virginal smile I can put on. So you're into shadow boxing, huh? Something comes over me. I can feel the darkness embracing me, whispering sweet nothings in my ear, pumping me up for what's to come. Reverse elbow. Might as well give this a try. Before he manages to respond, my elbow crashes against his face. A few bloody teeth land on the ground. I know what he's thinking. I should have blocked it. And he absolutely should have. But instead, he just flailed his arms helplessly as if he suddenly found himself in front of an oncoming train. A primal expression of fear that suddenly and completely took him over. I don't know how I look right now, but judging by his expression, my best guess is like the gaping maw of some primordial beast. I followed the surprise attack with another punch to the solar plexus, or at least my nearest estimation. Once again, the effect terrifies even myself. Looks like my hunch was correct, and I hit the right spot. He falls to the floor, whining like a wounded animal, tears streaming down his face. I let him collect himself a bit, and then grab him by his chin. Let him choose your battles, homeboy. Let me go. For Christ's sake, let me go. I kick him in the direction of the alley entrance. He staggers off, quickly disappearing from my sight. I check on his victim. Looks like he's still conscious. Wow, you whooped his ass, girl. But hasn't noticed anything out of order. Good. I was worried I might have overdone it a bit. That woman did say that keeping a low profile would be crucial if I wanted to survive. You alright? Need help? He manages to stand up. His smile is strained, but it suggests that he's fine, or at least trying his best to seem fine. Now you gave me all the help I needed, and then some. Thank you, miss. What's your name? Jessica. Nice, Jessica. I was worried for a second, but this asshole's bark was worse than his bite. It's probably worse shape than me now. Guess that counts as a victory. Better get going. My wife is probably sick, but before that, if there's anything I can do to repay you. Forget about it. Just be a little more careful in the future, alright? A true heroine always refuses compensation for her help. At least, that's how I think things should go. Never thought I'd help someone out in a street fight. You're something else, Jessica. You ever want to try your skills in the octagon? Too much in love with my gorgeous face to see it bruised, battered, and swollen. Sorry. I hear you. Whatever you do next, God bless you. And there he goes. God, huh? I feel like one right now. No more worrying about being out after midnight. No more feeling uneasy when I spot a shady asshole across the street. Ever. I like to start jogging in Central Park after midnight now. Not that I needed to. Well, the future is looking bright. Wow, what a night. I watched Times Square from above. It's beautiful. Never thought this place could make me emotional, to be honest. Who would have thought? Getting up here was surprisingly easy, all things considered. It took more thought than physical effort. Earlier tonight, I started experimenting with my body's limits. I realized I could jump over small buildings and climb steep walls of these now, and my whole perception of space has shifted. I planned a scenic route across the rooftops. I did my best to avoid attracting attention, just as I was told. Stayed in the shadows for as humanly possible. I spotted a drone from afar. For a second I feel uneasy, but I remember what she told me. Machines won't get a clear view of me anymore. Camera footage, photos, it's all glitched out or blurry. So she's a La Sombra. Wouldn't take it for granted if I didn't try to catch my reflection earlier on. Couldn't see my face clearly, not in the mirror, not even a puddle. Not even a puddle. My face was like one of Dolly's clocks. She told me to keep a low profile regardless. Someone might take note and track you down. She didn't care to elaborate, but it didn't sound encouraging. Suddenly it hits me that I might never be able to see my own face again. That I won't even be able to take care of my looks by myself. What about the long-term psychological effects? A knot of anxiety tightens in my stomach. Jesus. It's probably just the tip of the iceberg. What else is gonna change? Calm down. Wait a second. These past few nights have been the best of my life. For years I was on a downward spiral, failing health, no future, a feeling of overwhelming powerlessness. Now everything has been flipped upside down, a total paradigm shift. A bad ending is not the only option. I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow. I forgot how that feels. Where I used to stand at mere seconds to midnight, the doomsday clock has been effectively turned off. A cold breeze brushes my cheek. As stupid as it sounds, I choose to read it as the world telling me to chin up. I can bend anyone to my will. I am capable of superhuman strength. I am a master of shadows. I can do anything. Tomorrow night? Oh, gosh. Oof. Tomorrow night, I'll be introduced to my duties. If everything goes according to plan, I will be a New York City representative of Clan La Sombra. Whoever they are. Whatever that means. I have no idea what to expect. But tonight is tonight. I'm free. All my worries from a month ago feel like they belong to someone else. Finally, things are looking up. Shadows of New York. March 2020. Okay, so it's been a few months. It's been like half a year. Because the last date we got was June 2019. Also, I cannot raise my arms. Oh, or at least my left arm without pain. Ow. Ow. Ugh. But I needed to stretch, and then my body's like, absolutely not. Hi. Back at it again at Big Beat Burger. Familiar sounds, familiar smells, familiar faces. Yet again, I'm recalling that night where everything seems to finally change for the better. I mean, it's not like I was expecting everything to go back to the old depressing normal. Even in the thick of it, the rational part of me recognized my state as temporary. But with these highs, there's always a hope that it won't end. Maybe that's an ego death that'll finally occur. Be satisfied, you stupid fucking bitch. I command you. Here's all the logical evidence why you should be satisfied. Here's the obvious direction for your life, and here's a detailed explanation of how you should treat the people that care about you. No dice. I always fall back to the same old habits. It's like they were encoded deep in my DNA. The aimlessness, the powerlessness, the spiritual exhaustion. These goddamn fast food trips. Stupid fucking self-loathing. Now amplified whenever I drink somebody's blood. I should just blame it all on the misfortune of my birth. You do this social climbing until you dissociate, and when you're just this untethered, constantly frustrated ball of dumb desires. So I'm sort of immortal right now, and I need to figure out what to do next. I watched this obscure Asian movie once. Eli Eli Lemus Sabachthani, starring Tadanobu Asano, one of the coolest guys in the world. He plays like this Merzbow-like figure, like a legendary noise musician. There's this mysterious virus spreading around the world, causing despair and mass suicide. A rich CEO's daughter gets sick and longs to die, so he sends a fortune searching for the cure. Turns out Asano and his friend, played by the violent onsen geisha guy, are traveling through Japan searching for the corpse-strewn towns and fields for any unique item that can produce beautiful sounds. It turns out the avant-garde walls of the noise they create are able to heal the infected. CEO begs the band to help, offering them all the money they want, but for some reason, they refuse. Through a series of flashbacks, concerts, and vignettes, the mystery unfolds. Eventually, we realize that Asano's music is not just a remedy, it's also the cause of the virus. Whenever it connects with people, they get this hunger for more extreme, more novel experiences. I love how, I guess this is the new chapter because the first chapter was signified by a moon and this is a sun. Hold on, I'm gonna stand up real quick. I'm gonna stand up and try and stretch. Hold on. Oh gosh, here we go. Oi! Fuck. Oh. My job is bad for my body. My job is bad for my back. Ugh. Nope, can't pop my lower back. That's fine. Oh, futz. Alright. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna stream for long. But this is nice. Maybe I can come back to this during Spooky Month. And eventually, they hit a wall. Nothing can satisfy them anymore. They lose their will to live. Not even the musicians are spared from this curse. They know the end will come, sooner or later. The girl is saved by a mind-blowing concert, but the tragedy is merely postponed, not averted. The last shot of a Jesus-like Asano, silently considering his role as savior and destroyer, stayed with me. The form of the film is abrasive, little to no narrative coherence, some weird cartoonish creative choices, the Japanese noise soundtrack. It's very free-form and hard to understand the weave of themes. But at this point, movies like this are all that truly connect with me. I'm in the New York City of the Lasombra clan now, also known as the Night Clan. They are masters of shadows who cast distorted reflections and make modern tech go haywire in their presence. Last year, a few months after I was embraced, the Lasombra had joined with the Camarilla, the biggest and most traditional sect in the vampire world. Two groups actually used to fight each other, but our leaders found some intel that made them reconsider their strategy. So they sent a diplomatic mission to parley with their historical enemies. The deal they got in Chicago was simple: a life for an unlife. For every vampire allowed in the Ivory Tower, one Lasombra vampire has to meet their ultimate end. I still remember the name of the woman who met her final death so I could begin my own life. It was Hester Reed, a sworn enemy of the Camarilla, a guerrilla fighter who spent decades opposing them. She was someone with far better principles than mine, from what I've gathered. Well, however she was, her execution by my sire served to convince the NYC elites to give us La Sombra another chance. Then they set out to look for a mutually agreed upon candidate who became the clan's rep in the city. My sire searched for someone who gave the impression that she was more than she appeared. Local court was looking for someone they could walk all over, and after long negotiations, they decided that I was a good compromise. They proceeded to systematically destroy my entire life just to make me show that I was psychologically strong enough to join the ranks. The turncoat special, they called it. Somehow, I succeeded. It actually led me right back to where I started. I stopped writing and put my pen down. Ooh, what voice do I give Valerie? Will that be all? Yes, Miss Duval, I hope you enjoy your stay in London. I very much doubt I will. Just like every cultured person, I think the only good Englishman is a dead Englishman. Not interested in a small talk with someone as sociopathic as her. I finished the formalities in silence. That'll be all. Token dear, I said hello. And farewell. Safe travels. Don't let the door hit you on your way out, Psycho. Oh well, I'm alone in the summer in town, and my representational role means jack shit. No title, no perks, no whatever. Right now, in the court's gopher, doing all sorts of work so no one else will touch. My main duties? Being sort of an immigration officer, cop, ACAB. You see, NYC is probably the biggest vampire travel hub in the United States, and definitely the biggest one on the East Coast. Almost every kindred here arriving from Africa and Europe goes through here. Locam really is not about bureaucracy and population control, so every vampire leaving and arriving in this town is supposed to check with me to inform me about their travels. Well, in theory at least. VIPs play by different rules. They take care of the stuff through connections and servants. For the smaller fish, like a vampire Statue of Liberty. First blood sucker, every kindred coming to NYC should see. The first after the prince, or Kadir, or the Primogen Council. These things vary. Yeah, I'm naturally traitorous to the Samba, so Sorry, I just had the thought of I just had a funny thought and it distracted me. Yeah, this is a bit too cozy. I'm gonna probably end it here soon after we get to a new scene. I forgot to read that. As I said, at the end of the day, I'm just a gopher. Oh, well, yes, I'm a naturally traitorous to Samba, so they still prefer being traditional and hands-on about these things. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just a gopher. And this work only serves to remind me that I'm not quite in, just standing at the gate. They haven't even given me an office. They just made everyone in public spaces, like coffee shops or this fast food restaurant. Some consider this an insult and lash out at me, but luckily, most of them understand we're in the same boat. We're only here because we're curs who need to be reminded of our place from time to time. Speaking of, my last client is 15 minutes late, and I still have more errands to run tonight. This is getting irritating. To be honest, I should just find some self-respect and leave. But I won't. My sorry upbringing left me with a stupid sense of responsibility. 10 more minutes pass. Eventually, an unfamiliar woman appears by the door. She asks someone to stand by the door and walks in. Long chestnut hair, body stuck in her late teens, well look of it. A fashionable scarf covering most of her face, elegant clothes, dignified walk. I signal her to sit in front of me, trying to best not to show my impatience. Let my impatience show. She obliges. You're here to check in? I am. Julia Sawinski, I presume. She's scanning her surroundings like we're at a circus. Hope you won't mind if I make it quick. I'm needed in Elysium. Name? Catherine Weiss. Huh. I swear I've heard that name before. Someone else's description never crosses my mind. That weird lady who owns the art hole but is never there? Weird. So it is her. Catherine Weiss. The owner of the art hold, de facto headquarters of the New York City Camarilla. For fuck's sake, Julia, what are you doing calling her weird right off the bat? God knows you've already made a fool of yourself in front of enough VIPs in the city. Recover. Sorry, it's just I still don't know many people here, so I had to go by the description that given by members of the Primogen. Well, the description is mostly correct, outside of the one word that slightly perplexes me. Pot calling the kettle black, it seems like. Oh, from what I gathered, it's just that your interests are rumored to be not fully aligned with the Camarillas, and it irks some folks up there. Being a keeper of the Elysium is not enough for some, I see. I suspected as much, but what can you do? She seems chill. Good. Anyway, Catherine Weiss. Wow. Yes. Want me to spell it? People often have trouble getting it right. Forgive my indiscretion, it's just that people of your stature don't usually bother checking in with me. They usually report their arrival to one of the Primogens, and they make all the arrangements. I heard Prince Panhard is busy with the preparations for her big party. I assume that if I spared her some paperwork, she'd appreciate it as a gesture of goodwill. Besides, I wanted to meet the infamous La Sombra representative out of sheer curiosity. My interest peaked once I heard about her. Looks around knowingly. Unique circumstances. Yes. Prince Helene Panhard had trouble justifying the exorbitant rent my property would need. There's literally pennies for her. And as far as I know, she's been sitting on an empty property since last year. Looks like they've got it down for you. Bad. That's what I assumed, but it's nice to get a confirmation. Oh, it's not like my clan has ever been particularly popular in these parts. At least that's what I've heard since the fathers and so on. Yes. Just to make sure, you've never met Hester, but you know of her. I do know I wouldn't be here if not for her. Have you two met? No, I only heard of her once or twice. We had similar outlooks on many issues, but... In any case... Wait, did I... Oh, wow, am I getting sleepy? Oh. It is then I remember that I've been up since like 5 in the morning. Oh gosh, I've been up for several hours. I forgot that I did not wake up around my usual time because I thought I had a meeting with my advisor / professor, and then that didn't happen. She rescheduled, so yikes. Whew. But as we take a little pause and check on a few things, how we doing, chat? You doing okay? You doing good? You having fun? You having fun with my voice acting? I hope you're having fun with my voice acting, honestly. I think I'm having fun here. I might do this some more, you know? I mean, it seems like a good time. No, I only heard of her once or twice. We had similar outlooks on many issues, although we tended to come up with completely different solutions. In any case, I think it's meaningful that Hester died so that you can live. They feared her. Now they fear you. And that's why they're keeping you down. If anyone who's not a VIP said this to me, I'd laugh in their face. Oh, I get what she's doing. She's trying to buy my favors. Best not to act like I'm easy to please. Sit to business. Time will tell. In the meantime, I'll need you to help me out with my documentation. Of course. So where are you coming from? Washington, D.C. She says it in the way people in Hollywood movies say it. The way that suggests her Washington is different, wildly different from... Oh, fuck! Sorry. So cozy, I'm falling asleep. Oh gosh, but yeah, yeah, I hope that this is just a cute little thing that you can, this will probably be on the YouTube channel, so, This will be on the YouTube channel, so you can just put this on the background. Have a nice time. Just let my vocal fry voice acting carry you through something. She says it the way that people in Hollywood movies say it. The way that suggests that her Washington is wildly different from the Washington you and I would see. What were you doing there? Take a guess. Government work. Write that down. It ought to amuse Helene a little bit. If you say so, date and hour of arrival. She takes out a plane ticket and slides it towards me. It's all here. 1 a.m. Got it. That's the transit plane. Purpose of visit. Meeting with Prince ought to work just fine, I guess. Estimated duration of visit? Undefined. Right in 6 months if you really need to. Place of accommodation, conditions of intended stay. The art hall, conditions should be adequate. You tell me. I tend to be happy with Airbnb. Home sweet home? I'm not certain that I ever felt particularly at home here. That makes two of us. Curious. Do you have nothing holding you here? The face of a blonde-haired friend vanishes and appears in my mind's eye and then vanishes. There's nothing holding me anywhere. I see. A prolonged silence. She stares into my eyes and I return the stare. She's studying me. It's unnerving, but I do my best not to turn away. Eventually, she smiles. Didn't you say you were short on time? Oh, God, yes. Kadir would kill me. I quickly begin to collect my stuff from underneath the table. You can simply inform him I paid you a visit. He'll understand. He'll pass it on to everyone who should be in the know. Do you need anything else? I'm fine. I was just about to ask you that myself. You're the one asking questions here. That's all for me. Good. We will see each other soon, I hope. And the party tomorrow night? I wasn't invited. She gives me a pitying look. I understand. Well, if not given the opportunity, we should make our own. I'll be in touch. Good night, Miss Weiss. I wish you a pleasant stay. Good night. And don't rush into these things. You've got your whole life ahead of you. And you're in a position where you can take it easy. Take your time. Get a different perspective. I nod and slowly walk out the door. When I lose sight of the restaurant, I sprint towards the subway. Slow night. Oh, jeez. I gotta voice Kadir. I wish. You're late again, by the way. I hope you have a good excuse. That's not a good voice. I hope you have a good excuse. Kadir Al-Asmai, the mighty sheriff of New York City, is not happy with me. No wonder. I met him in front of Elysium 30 minutes later than the time we had agreed upon. Yeah, well, Catherine fucking Vise decided to arrive fashionably late. A likely story. She's supposed to be out of the city. If you think I'm pulling your leg, boss, feel free to check my report. I pass him all the official papers, the way I do every night. Kadir stares me down for a good few seconds, and then his steely gaze softens. You're serious? Weiss in McDonald's with the mask and the elegant clothes, surrounded by the smell of french fries and hamburger patties. That must have been one hell of a sight. Technically it was BBB, not McDonald's. But yeah. God, I made such a fool of myself. First thing I did, I quoted somebody calling her a weirdo. I wanted to die on the spot. Serve you right, you walking faux pas. I've been trying to teach you to control your tongue, but you never learn. It's a new gaffe every week with you. Still, there's good news and bad news. The good news, Catherine has a fondness for vampires of humble beginnings. Probably why she decided to see you in your, shall we say, natural habitat. She's one of those rich art-scene assholes who seek out working class cred. I did say something about watching your tongue. The bad news is she is very astute, so she can recognize a moron like you straight away. You never stood a chance at impressing her. Oh, shut up. You still need me for anything here? I'll get on it straight away.
I wouldn't be standing out here chatting with you if I hadn't taken care of my duties. 13 minutes is all it took to finish preparations for the big party. I'm about to see everyone off.
Sorry.
Couldn't be helped, I suppose. It's more your loss than mine. Just wanted some company tonight, and you could really use the chance to appear here on official duties so that everyone can get to know your face. Even though your fast food job isn't going to get you anywhere, you need to, what do they call it, hustle?
You don't need to tell me that. But it's not like being paraded around But it's not like being paraded around for a bunch of blue-blooded douchebags. He somehow manages to give me a painful nudge in the back without so much as a hint of visible movement.
Language, you fool. They're coming out. Just stand here in silence for 5 minutes and focus on not embarrassing yourself any further, will you?
Got it. The first two silhouettes appear in the art. I don't know who that was at the beginning. The first two silhouettes appear in the doorway of the art hall. I'm fading fast. Gosh, who I'm fading? The first two silhouettes appear in the doorway of the art hall. An old man in a wheelchair, pushed forward by his young servant. Haven't seen either of them before.
Mr. Payne, the night is still young. Hope you find the rest of it pleasant.
Payne, the wheelchair. I've heard about him. Addison Payne, one of the American Camarella's main connections to the government and Wall Street. Disabled in quite a few ways, needs a servant to communicate. Be full of resentment if I was embraced in this condition, but apparently Payne is nothing but grateful for his immortality. He keeps writing firmer defenses of the traditions and Camarilla customs. Good night, Mr. Payne. He wordlessly shakes Kadyr's hand, but he doesn't even deign to acknowledge me. At least the servant gives me a small bow. I return it. They leave. Kadyr turns to the next person leaving.
Hi, Regent. Can't wait to see you in your outfit.
Aisling Sturbridge. Ooh. Spare me, Sheriff. These fancy dress parties cause me enough suffering without your help. I can only hope you haven't conspired with Helene to embarrass me with this gift. She points to a shrink-wrapped set of clothes she's carrying inside her coat. Kadyr smirks briefly.
I didn't have to. As you well know, Prince Panhard displays a considerable foresight in the manner of party planning.
Yes, if there's one thing she's deathly serious about, it's frivolities.
A recognizably mortal quality, especially for a prince. We ought to celebrate it, not oppose it.
Don't worry, Sheriff. I'm a big girl who knows her etiquette. I will play your game, amuse the crowd a little bit, and then return to my study as fast as possible. Oh. Aisling Sturbridge, High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, a hero in the Battle of New York, the biggest warlock in town. Could be a prince herself if she didn't have her eyes on a bigger prize. Thing is, nobody knows what that prize is. They only know it has something to do with the goal of her thaumaturgical research. Whoever tried to find out what it is failed violently.
Oh, I'm sure you're going to have fun. Miss Sawinski here has just informed me that Catherine Wise was back in town. It is safe to assume she will join our festivities.
You're kidding me. It's not safe to assume, it's certain. She told me that she'll be here tomorrow night. Wise. Excellent. I'd love to catch up with her. The barely concealed venom in her voice clearly suggests that, in fact, she'd hate to catch up with her. Yes, it looks like tomorrow night will be very special. But for now, I bid you adieu. And she's gone. There's some kind of story between Aisling and Wise that I should be aware of.
You could say that. High Regent Sturbridge once it in to call for a blood hunt on Wise.
Ooh, she hates her. Oh. The High Regent hates her. She hates Wise so bad. Okay. Wow. Why?
I've heard 5 different versions of the story, and all of them seem plausible. Catherine's relationship with the city is odd, to say the least, but hush for now. He's obviously trying to kill the conversation, and the appearance of Thomas Arturo gives him a perfect way out. Mr. Arturo.
Ah, Allah's my. Keep up the good work, eh?
Of course.
Thomas Arturo. An architect by trade, he's a herald, a member of Prince Panhardt's inner circle, an eccentric whose thoughts seem to be 10 times faster than his words. Take care on your way home. Take care on the way to your haven, Mr. Arturo. Ah, yes, yes. He disappears into the night. Oh, that was brief. Maybe I should stand in their way. I might force him to properly acknowledge my existence.
You severely underestimate their dedication to ignoring whelps like you. And just in case you're serious, I beg of you, don't.
I mean, I ask you this for a while now, but I've never had the opportunity. You really hate Arturo's guts, don't you? He carefully measures his diplomatic response.
I have no strong feelings about Thomas Arturo whatsoever.
Yeah, well, considering you're always listing positives about every local Camarilla representative out on the moon, you might as well have called him a cunt.
Language whelp. And as for Arturo, I will share my opinion about him as soon as I come up with one that sticks for more than a week.
A group of kindred emerges from the art hall, rushing towards the street. Only a noble-looking woman stops next to us. She's wearing a hijab, but curiously enough, she doesn't hide her hair beneath it.
Primogen.
If you're rude enough to stare, you quickly notice that the cloth serves mostly to cover up her horrifying scars. Kadir. Oh, and young Julia. I'm doing my best not to stare because Samira is one of the few NYC Camarilla figures who hasn't been an asshole to me yet.
Still here?
Wait, the Clan of the Hunt. Oh, Banu Hakim. Okay.
Still here? Did the prince require the Clan of the Hunt counsel on some matter?
Yes. I advised her that no matter how hard she tries, she shouldn't expect me to wear a different costume tomorrow night. She's the Banu Hakim Primogen. Just like the Sombra, their clan was independent from the Camarilla until relatively recently. However, they negotiated a better deal than we did. They have a Primogen, for one. Hailing from the Middle East, the Banu Hakim are drawn to the practice of justice. The rules must be upheld and every transgression punished. They don't have much say in NYC, but the prince often seeks their judgment. It's just good PR.
I trust she was understanding. Those are beautiful clothes.
Thank you so much. I'm eager to see the outfit you came up with. And how are you, Julia? Have you seen any lights at the end of your tunnel? I've seen one. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's a train. Sorry to hear that. I trust you're pestering the prince and your superiors to improve your standing. It's a process. Oh, Julia, you won't achieve anything if you don't keep reaching for it. Kadir, weren't you supposed to teach her the ropes?
I am trying to, Primogen, but with this child, it's always a process.
I can only wish you good luck then. Good night, Julia. Good night, Kadir. Good night.
Have a safe trip.
The art hall has to be almost empty by now. You like her, don't you?
Stop with your class clown act, whelp. It only serves to reveal deep insecurities.
Wow, that's harsh.
It's factual. Were I as harsh as you claim?
She did tell us to call her Samira, but you're still keeping your distance with the Primogen shit.
What's your profanity? And don't project your fantasies onto me. I won't give you a lesson about professional boundaries, but I suspect the way that you will eventually learn it will be extremely unpleasant.
Am I interrupting something, good folks? Even though I'm constantly pestering him, Kadir's composure is unshaken. His response comes swift and unfazed.
Not at all, Mr. Van der Weyden. So heading back to your office.
You know me, my dear sheriff. Where else would I go? Now that's curious. Even though Carter Van der Weyden is a Primogen as well, Malkavian to be precise, I don't hear Kadir address him as such.
Hope to see you tomorrow night. Oh, I will absolutely show up.
Provided I can. But just in case, I've already apologized for not making it to the prince. Simply drowning at work these days. The rhythms, tempo, and intonation patterns of his voice are all so familiar. Half of it sounds like JFK, the other half exactly like Barack Obama. Just like his appearance, it all feels so fake. He's old money, of course, comes from a long line of Dutch merchants who originally settled in the New York region, runs a wildly successful law office, rubs elbows with elite of both kindred and kind varieties alike. He seems perfect in every way, and that's why he's so unnerving. He's a child of Malkov and must be blighted with some affliction, but whatever it is, he doesn't let it show. Hard not to wonder what he's hiding.
The celebrations are planned to last all week. Surely you will find the time. I pray I will, my good man. I pray I will. In case you ever need to reach me, you know where to find me. Have a good one.
He doesn't even register my presence before leaving. Sometimes I think they're all still hoping I will simply go away. As Carter drives away in his limousine, Kadir shakes his head.
You wanted to hear about which member of the New York City's cabaret I dislike the most.
Yes? He shoots me a knowing glance and smirks.
Too bad. They're all my dear colleagues, and I deeply respect every single one of them.
Sure you do. Wouldn't want to blurt out something that could lock you out of Mr. Vanderweeden's legal services. Would you, you ass-kisser?
I do expect to find myself in good need of a defense attorney when my broke, incompetent, and foul-mouthed assistant finally pushes me over the edge.
Rude. Do you still need me here? I still need to swing by St. Patrick's tonight.
Don't worry, we're almost done. The prince is coming out.
The captain is the last person to leave the ship, huh? And there she is. Helene Panhard. The big kahuna, as someone I once knew would call her. The de facto ruler of New York City and a self-professed patron of the arts. Kadir. Oh, no. Ooh, what voice do I want to give Helene? I'm searching. What voice? Kadir. A penny for your thoughts?
You should be pleased to hear the High Regent is resigned to her fate, my prince. Mr. Vanderweyden is decidedly not. I suspect he'll be too busy to join the festivities all the week through.
Excellent. She turns to me. Miss Sawinski, weren't you supposed to accompany our good sheriff in his duties tonight?
There was an unexpected change of plans. Catherine Weiss is back in the city.
Catherine is here. Now that's a welcome surprise. But what does it have to do with you, Miss Sawinski? She said that she didn't want to trouble you with all the paperwork regarding her arrival, Prince Vanhard. It's all been taken care of. Kadir has already been informed of everything. That's certainly a nice gesture, but wait a minute. Now, where exactly did you meet her?
In a fast food restaurant, my prince.
I see. Helene rubs her eyes. Catherine and her love for proletariat amusement. I suppose will be a source of amusing anecdotes this week.
If we want to avoid these situations in the future, it might be a good time to discuss offering Miss Sawinski an office of her own.
We'll get to it eventually. There are more pressing matters at hand. The festivities start tomorrow, and there's still so much to be done. Will you make sure the art hole is secure before leaving?
Certainly, my prince. Have a good night.
Good night, Kadir. Good night, Miss Sawinski. We'll talk about your work soon, don't worry. Of course. Good night, Prince Panhard. A chauffeur escorts her to a limo. There's an awkward silence between me and Kadir until the car disappears around the corner. More pressing matters, huh? A penny for your thoughts, Sheriff?
I'm certain an image of a keeper of the Elysium stuck in a fast food restaurant will linger in Prince Panhard's mind. You're far closer to your goal than you were a few minutes ago.
I'm very sure I've heard you say something to that effect a few times now.
I stand by my words. And I stand by my words. Rome wasn't built in a day, Julia. As a Camarilla loyalist, don't you think it sucks that the Ivory Tower is so hell-bent on showing disrespect to my clan, they're actually willing to make fools of themselves in the process? We've all had to endure our own hazing rituals, but yes, the current situation is not ideal. Whatever. You need a hand closing up the Elysium? I'll manage. It's getting late. Better run. Some shadow in Chicago is probably impatient to get a copy of the reports you've given me. You please one master. Now it's time to please the other. Yeah, here's the thing about working for two masters. None of them really thinks of you as their own. Not knowing how to reply, Kadir shrugs. However, to him goodbye and head for the subway. I'm gonna save it here. This was really fun, and I hope that, maybe we'll do this again sometime. But for right now, I'm Eepy, and I'm gonna relax. So, goodbye all. Have a nice day, night, whenever you listen to this. Goodbye.